Hi guys, this is Sai Kumar Kurtivada. In this video, we will learn about one of the Hackerrank React challenge, which is item list manager. So in Hackerrank, we have some set of React challenges, which helps us to understand our fundamentals on React application. On basis of that challenge, I'll be providing an entire end-to-end solution for this item list manager. So it is very simple to understand, and by seeing this particular challenge, we will understand how we can use a complex state with an array, and also how we can use the event handling in React. So it is very basic example. So let me go into the problem statement. So here what he is mentioning is item list manager is something like you will have a input field and a button. On clicking on that specific button, whatever you have entered in that specific element, that has to be shown in an unordered list format. So you can see here you are tasked with creating a simple React application called item list manager that displays a list of items and allows users to add new items to the list. The items will be displayed in an unordered list. So let's understand the requirement. So here the requirement is when the application loads, it should display an empty list. The input field should accept user text input. When the button is clicked, the text from the input field should be added to the list. The input field should be cleared. If the input field is empty and button is clicked, nothing should be added to the list. So these are the detailed description points for this specific requirement. So now we will implement this specific requirement in our React application. Let me quickly jump into Visual Studio Code to understand this problem and to solve this problem. So here I have created a React application. Here already I have created a React application, which is a basic React application by using npx create react app. I have created this. So let's try to understand how we can solve this problem. Before doing that, for UI purpose, I'll use the Bootstrap in our React application. So let me go into the browser, go to the Bootstrap and get the Bootstrap installation. So instead of installing, what I would like to use is I want to use a CSS Bootstrap. So this is the CDN which I want to use. So I can use any of the CDN which is required for our Bootstrap CSS. So I want to use only the CSS. So I can copy this link tag and use it in my React application. So let me go into index.html and here let me add this link tag. Save this. Now your application is ready to use your Bootstrap. So let me go into app.js and let me remove this header part completely, and let me write some set of Bootstrap classes to understand whether our Bootstrap is working as expected or not. So let me create a button and I'll use something called as add item and save this. Now I will apply the Bootstrap class. Class name is equal to btn space btn hyphen primary and save this. Let me go here to the browser which is running at localhost 3000, that is our application is running at localhost 3000, and this is the button which is applied by using our Bootstrap class. Now what I'll do is I need one input field. So let me create that input field. And if you want to make it bit fancy, just go to the Bootstrap and get the card component, card, and inside this card, let me copy all the card related code. So let me go here and paste here and let me format this, and we don't want any image. So let me remove this. And you have a class. So this class should be changed to class name. So let me replace all this to class name, because class will not work out in React. A class should be replaced with class name as it is only applicable in React. So let me go here into styles. So here the style is given as a string format, but React will not accept a string format. So let me remove this and let me use an object format, width as 18 rem, and save this. So let me go to the browser and now you can see a card. So now I want to have an input field. I want to have a title and the button name. So what I'll do is I'll create a div on top of this card to center that specific div, and let me close here, format this, and let me close this. So now you can see this class name with the card. And now what I'll do is I'll try to add something called as item list manager is my header, and instead of my paragraph I'll use an input field. So let me go with a div and inside this div, let me create an input field which is having a Bootstrap CSS. So what I'll do is go here, search for input or form control, anything. So I have an input over here. Let me copy this input, and if you want to have some specific input group, you can use this. Otherwise, a form control is good enough. So let me copy this form control, go here and just paste here. So I can remove this specific div and replace that. So let me format, and input field should also have a closing tag. As we are using in React, we should have a closing tag or self-closing tag. So let me go here and replace my classes with class name. So let me replace this and save this. Now we are ready with the input field. So let me change this input field to enter item name, and here we can use a placeholder called as enter item name, and this one is item name, and save this. Now the type is just a text. Let me save this. We have an input field and we don't want any anchor tag. Let me remove this anchor tag. In the place of anchor tag, I can use a button. So let me use this button, add item. So let me go here to the browser and you can see add item and the item name followed by enter item name. So this is completely center aligned. Why? Because we are using this class name, which is the default class name of our React application. Let me save this, go here. And now you can see the card. What I'll do is for this card, I'll create a class called as d-flex. That is nothing but display flex. Justify hyphen content hyphen center. So now this whole card will be moved into the center of the screen. So this is how it looks like. And now we have item list manager. This is the label and this is the input field. I already zoomed this a bit, so that's why you are seeing a very big UI. So actually speaking, it should be something like this. So let me zoom it a bit just for our clear understanding. Now, once the user adds something on this, so it has to render some set of list over here as an items. So what I'll do is first I'll try to create our item content. So what I'll do, I'll just create a div and we want unordered list as mentioned in the problem given by Hackerrank. So now I'll use UL tag and I'll use something called as li tag like item 1, and let me copy this list, put it over here, item 2. Save this. Now go here. Now it looks something like this. So what we have to do is we should not show this list on the initial launch, but once the user enters some data in this input field and hits this specific button, then that specific list should be shown over here. So for that sake, let's create two states for us. One is the input state, whatever you are entering on the input, it has to show, and whenever we hit a button, then it has to be added in the list. So we need two states. So let me create two states, something like input state set input value and is equal to use state. As we are using the functional component, I'm using use state and it is having an input field with a default of empty string. Now I want a list of data, so I'll use list and let me create this constant in small letter const, and this is the list comma set list is equal to use state of empty array, because on the launch I want to have empty array. Now I can use this input for setting up my values. So let me use something like this. All the properties I'll make use of stacked properties so that it is easy to understand. Now what we'll do is we'll use something called as onChange event, and this is something like an event handling in React. So let me use a callback function. This event handler will receive a value called as event, and what I want to do is I want to set my input field with the event whatever it has. That means event dot target dot value, whatever we enter in that specific field, that will be set into your state property. Now your input is ready with this specific state. After that, I should have a onClick event which helps us to add that specific label into our list. So now I can use something like set list, and if you really want to perform some set of actions, then you can use another handler function. So what I'll do is I'll just use handle item list. So I'm not passing any parameters from this, so I'm just using the reference of that function. So let me use an arrow function over here, and inside this arrow function we have to push that value into my list. So I can use something called as set list, and it is an array. So let me get the previous value of this array, and I want to pass my input state, whatever the state we are entering. And now this list will be updated whenever you are clicking on this specific button. So that specific list should be shown over here. So I can use something like list.map of, I'll be getting an item implies I should have li, which is showing this specific item value which is entered by the user. So let me save this. Now let me go to the browser and let me refresh this. When I enter first item and hit this, you can see the first item, but it is not getting cleared. So that case we have to handle. What we'll do is, once we push the input value into our list, I want to clear off my input field with empty string. So now once user clicks on a button, it will be adding into the list and it will clear the input field. So let me go here, refresh this, and first item, you can see the first item and it is still not clearing. So let's see what's the problem. So set input. Okay, we do not have a value property. That's why it is not getting updated. The value property is value input. So whenever the set input updates, its value also gets updated over here. So let me go here, clear this off, and let me use something like testing, hit this. Now you can see it got cleared. But the problem is, when I click an empty input field, it is trying to add some items into the list. I don't want to do that. So what we'll do is, if the input value exists, then only we have to push that into the list. Otherwise, do not do anything. So let me save this. Now go here, let me refresh first item and hit this. You can see first item, second item, hit this, you can see the second item. When I hit, now without entering any of the value, it is not getting added into the list. So that's the challenge whatever given by React Hackerrank. So let me go here, let's see what are the action. Initial state, the list is empty, the input field is empty. Let's see that. Let me refresh, the list is empty and there is no input field with a value. And also, user types first item in the input field, user clicks add item button, the list displays first item. So now I am using something like first item and hitting on this, it created first item. So the second use case is also done. Third use case is user types second item in the input field, user clicks add button, it should show both. So let me go here, let me add second item and hit this. Now it worked as expected. So we have solved this specific item list manager which is provided by Hackerrank in our complete application. But if you try to solve this in the Hackerrank portal, you will have a basic code which is already available and you have to write your functionality over there. But I recommend to write your whole application by yourself so that you will get more confidence on your fundamentals of React. So here the fundamentals what we learned is, we have learned two major concepts. One is the useState with a string pattern and array pattern, and also we have used the event handling and we have also used the looping of the pattern used in our React application. So we have covered three of the major concepts and the fundamental concepts of React by using this specific challenge. I'm planning to do the same challenge in Angular as well. I'll provide the link in the descriptions. Please watch that for better understanding. And also I already made all the basic concepts of React fundamentals playlist. You can check that playlist for better understanding of useState and looping of the elements in React. Hope this gave you a clear and glance understanding of this specific challenge given by Hackerrank. I'll come up with some more videos on this Hackerrank challenges. Hope you like my explanation. If you like my video, like, share, subscribe to my channel for more updates. Signing off. Thank you.